Hi there, Libra. How you doing? Welcome to Jive Tarot and your 9 card spiritual insight for the month of September. hmm So, babies, what's going on? What's happening? How did August treat y'all? Okay, so just recently I have noticed that my readings were very time fluid. Ooh. So your overall energy is the Fool. It's interesting. So what kind of new leap are we thinking about taking? The Five of Swords. Risk taker, huh? So, Libra. The Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck kind of tells me that, when pushed in a corner, when shoved back just a little bit, things tend to get a little heated. And you push back, don't you? Yes, you do. Well, at least in September you are. Now, a lot of times, if somebody would have told me that I would have done something that I had done, I'd be like, yeah, right. It's the Nine of Cups. So with wish fulfillment on the line, with something that really excites us, really makes us passionate, I think there's a possibility that you would. There's the Six of Wands, and from what it looks like, it's a victory. And the Hierophant also. It's 2 major arcana. Happiness, success, victory, renowned, right? Ambition, drive, propulsion, even. And just one little bitty instance of having to stand your ground, right? In the face of adversity, mind you. Now, let's get to this 9 card. We're going to roll into the past, present, future, conscious and subconscious. Person that you could be dealing with, or the challenge. Doorways they could be opening for you. Oh, shit. It's a story. Okay. Now, this person might have been a very, very indifferent, or you could have been very indifferent towards this person. This is a long-standing event. This is something that you had probably, for all intents and purposes, just kind of turned your nose up at and kind of tried to go about your day without acknowledging, right? We don't feed it any power. I do see not really losing any sleep over it, but for some odd reason, you are changing your perspective on it, taking inventory on things that you aren't willing to let slide any longer. I'm not going to let this go. I ain't letting it go, right? Okay, so here we go. So this is something that you didn't really pay a lot of mind to. Wasn't really interested in it, didn't really give a flip, right? Couldn't be bothered with it. And not really seeing any progression. Like if I didn't give it, if I ignored it, it went away. Kind of like the issue, right? All right. And unapologetic. I had no emotion. I had no time. I had no energy. I had no emotion to feed this thing. I just wasn't even worried about it. Right? It was a fly. It was a fart in the wind, for God's sake. But since then, for some reason or the other, I've kind of changed my perspective on a few things, right? I have. Yes, I have. I've come to realize the power that I hold, and I'm not letting this go. I'm not going to let this slide anymore, right? I've done the math. I've done the math and know the dangers of second guessing. Maynard is going to be so mad at me. So anyway, here we go. Past, Felt like an incomplete cycle. It was all wrapped up nice and neat with a little bow. It wasn't bothering anybody, right? Till somebody asked what's in the box, that is. So we're going and we have the current situation is it's becoming more clear and animate. That you're not seeing eye to eye. I'm not seeing eye to eye. I'm really not getting what I'm giving out this person. Now, this could be a coworker. I'm really not seeing any hints, any clues that lead me to that suggestion. I'm just kind of hoping that it's a coworker, for God's sake. Because for all intents and purposes, there's so much of the puzzle that's missing, right? They're taking up unnecessary space they're utilizing unnecessary space in your matrix. And it's not worth that wasted space. You ever walked into a house and it was so completely, horribly drawn? You know? Let's see, upcoming future. Right, Libra. I do see some sort of stability, some sort of, it's an acknowledgement. It's a, it's an effort. It's a victory, a hard-won victory. It is, I want to say renowned. You live and you learn. This is not a work situation. This is not about work. This isn't happening in the workplace. For a lot of you, this is not happening in the workplace. With the Page of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse right here. This is something just a little bit closer to home. Probably family-oriented, so to say, with the King of Pentacles here in the world. What else? Okay, the person that you're dealing with, how about that? The Emperor. Okay, could be a father figure, could be patriarch of the family, grandfather, you know, uncle, something like that. Masculine provider, protector kind of role. Somebody who thinks he's in control. Could be an Aries. Could be an Aries. Could be somebody that's just used to having their way. They're used to having control of the situation. Used to calling the shots, right? And you just kind of go with the flow, right? Except it was never really about you, right? It's like, or anybody else for that matter. And I think that maybe they had probably started to abuse that sense of power. You understand? Like more times than not, they would disregard people in the group. Even if it was like the majority was stacked against them. Well, I've always had this power. I'm going to utilize this power again. I'm not going to do what's best for the group. I'm going to continue to do what I say. And you're going to continue to do what I say. So, Libra, conscious and subconscious. I'm getting that this is the subconscious card, actually. And conscious. All right. So in your mind, in your head, you're ready. You got it on your mind that we're going to take a stand. We're going to speak our piece. We're going to advocate for the group. And that is so good too. So good, so clean. All right. So with the Knight of Wands here, right? The Seven of Cups in reverse and the Strength. So we're bringing it to the table, right? Our slice of apple pie. We're bringing it to the table. We're going to make something just a little bit clearer, aren't we? I'm going to clear things up just a little bit. Let me tell you something about you that you don't know, right? Yes. And we know we got the backing with the strength card right here. We know we got people in our corner. We know that we're not just standing up for ourselves. We know we're not just standing up against somebody. I don't think that we really understand the severity or the actual benefits or attributes that go into what this means or what it's going to change. This is a defeat at all costs, though. You understand what I'm saying? Things had gotten pretty much as bad as they were going to get, for God's sake. How would you have handled it in the past? Yep. Just held your tongue. Just sat there, not said anything, you know? Makes for very bad experiences, bad memories. You understand? When I'm doing a family-related or family-oriented thing, how I'm going to handle it this time around. Adventurous, hopeful. I'm going to understand and communicate or accept communications of what has been decided or what is the majority rules of what has already been decided in the group, right? I'm not going to sit there and procrastinate on it any longer. And I'm not letting it go. There's that Four of Pentacles again. There's something that I just couldn't let go of, right? Spirit is saying, look, it's not even a thing. Don't let it go. Don't let this pass you by. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. King of Swords. There you go, my love. Everything is good in the hood. Everything's turning out all right. But here's the kicker, right? As Spirit has so gingerly laid on my brain cells there, is that you can't even begin to comprehend what this is changing for your old nephew that you're making an impact on. You understand? Brother, sister, cousin, that you finally spoke up for and made the group outings more enjoyable for everybody. You know, Libra, this kind of was a long time coming, and I don't think that it would have been heard or recognized or respected as much from anyone else as from you. So congratulations. And there'll always be a chance to make it right, make up for it. Like the damages that are being done or the words being spoken. If you can't use them gingerly or diplomatically, then at least understand that there will be an essence and there will be a time and a place to be able to apologize. Not arrogantly say, you know, you had this coming, or, you know, it's about time you backed off, or anything else like that. But where they actually realize that delegating the responsibility of choosing or picking or planning events or outings was best left to the group in and of itself, you know? And they're going to come to that realization, and apologizing is going to be very easy. Making it right, or I'd say justifying it, but, you know, it's going to be a little bit easier if you give it a little bit of time. You understand? So don't rush off into that. Let's get a little bit more information. Damn, what are you? You're this. And then, of course, we want to look at a little bit into the person that you're dealing with, even though, you know, we probably heard enough from them. For all intents and purposes, we've heard enough from them. Let's hear from the people at the back of the room, you know? What's coming to me? He who is, it's always him who does not necessarily desire power that is more fit to wield it, right? That's probably what I'm going to name this. Okay, so this transformative energy, this massively transformative energy with the Judgment, the Sun, the World, the Emperor, you know, all this wonderful stuff going on here with the Strength card, the Fool, right? So I'm feeling this is a major transformation, and I think that not necessarily having a whole hell of a lot to do with you as a person, but the impact that you're making just being yourself and understanding your worth. And not that you ever not did, but there was a little bit of complacency, you know? There was a little bit of too much flexibility, right? Keeping the peace or keeping the family, and now you're like really keeping the peace and keeping the family. And you notice how those two just kind of go hand in hand, right? But they feel so different, right? Everybody loves when you're an asshole. They just don't like when you're an asshole to them. Heard that so many times. More about this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, wasted time, wasted money, waste of a get together. If everybody's miserable as a family, yes, they're still together as a family. But the whole idea of the family outing, now mind you, I'm still just using this family outing as an analogy. It could be just about anything. It could be work related, although that's not what I'm getting. That's not the impression that I'm getting. I'm not getting the fact that it's a work. It could be just a straight up relationship. It could be your significant other that you finally had to pull the reins on a little bit, you know, get their head out the clouds and kind of bring them back to ground level with the rest of the family. A humbling of sorts. Coming to Jesus meeting. What's the other word? Intervention. Baby. Baby. It's an intervention. With love, right? I did this for not myself, not to thwart you or to spite you, not out of pride or wrath or anger. I did it out of love. I did it out of love for the whole outing, right? The whole situationship. I did it out of care. I did it out of compassion. And I think that the longer you sit back and allow this or the family or the group or the work colleagues to kind of sit back and actually draw their own conclusion on that, the more than likely that'll be the conclusion that is actually settled upon as truth. Do you understand? It's like, it is what it is. I do not have to prove it. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. But I could not sit another second and watch this progress any further, especially if y'all were going to involve me in it, for God's sake, you know? When did that Nine of Pentacles get there? How long has that been sitting there? Feeling like a little Easter egg and everything. That's going to go there. I see there's the Seven of Swords again. So we're making something right. This feels more like an internal victory, right? Something that's coming from within. Yeah? I was wasting money. I wasn't happy. I wasn't content. Wasting my time, wasting my money, wasting my energy, following and letting this person lead who didn't have the best interest of the group in mind. I had to make this right. I had to make it right for me, within myself. That is okay. And there is going to be some balancing. There's going to be some give and takes. There's going to be some diplomacy involved here with the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. and how to handle it, and the spiritual advice for the upcoming events, that there is going to, I mean, there's going to be an idea of diplomacy, but for the most part, it is more passionate. It's more passionate. Like when I feel that feeling come up, you know, kind of like cresting wave in my chest, I am going to say something. I'm going to say it. However, I am prepared just a little bit to be more diplomatic. I am in a position to where I care about everybody in the group, right? And I'm not necessarily trying to put my foot on anybody or overpower anybody. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody in the group is being heard fairly, together, correctly, correct? Yeah. So, all right. Libra, this seems really short and sweet, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the person that you're dealing with and then pull 3 cards for a summary. Yeah? Your high vibe card was water. It says drink more water, proper hydration calms your body, also increases your intuition. So yeah, baby, stay hydrated during this time, because you never know when that's going to come out. But it's time to step out of those fears. Time to step past those limiting fears and self-doubts and these things that we think that we can't step out of line. We are free, so we can. Let's look into the person that you're dealing with real quick. Who is this Emperor in my Libra's life, please? Who is this Emperor in my Libra's life? Ace of Swords, bottom of the deck. Okay, so they're going through some things. They do have some clouded judgment, and they're not really seeing the bigger picture or being communicated with properly. And Queen of Swords, though, right? So they're still acting within a previous role, one that has not been checked in a minute. They haven't been checked in a minute. They haven't been, hasn't been brought to their attention. They, in fact, I don't even think they had the slightest hint. Everybody was hush-hush around them. You know, it's like standing up at the front of the class and everybody knowing that the speaker has a booger in their nose, but nobody telling them. And you know how embarrassing it is for the most part that this person had to go that long, you know? So do try to be just a little diplomatic when dealing with them, because understand that it's not even that they haven't gotten the hint. It's that nobody's even so much as given them a hint, you know? Let's see. Third card for their subconscious. That's the Four of Swords. So they don't necessarily think about, they don't put a lot of effort into their role, right? They've never been challenged, so they don't think hard on it, because if it doesn't matter, or if nobody's ever said, oh, I wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese's, right, then I don't think that they would have ever gone off like the wild stagecoach you're now trying to rein in. And I might be making a mountain out of a molehill, for God's sake, but for the most part, come on, guys, you know. La la la. Love it when I throw the cards all over the office, like all the way across. Fish ain't playing with a full deck. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I think that they're kind of even worthy of it. Do you see? With the Tower and the Page of Swords right there and the Knight of Pentacles, I think that even though it will sting a little bit. Don't get me wrong. It's going to kind of sting a little bit, right? But as far as tuning in on the truth and learning something new, and they're going to keep going back to it. They're going to keep going back to it. Like they're going to keep going back to it. Keep going back to it. Keep going back to it. Inquisitive. Asking. Like even if it was just then that they learned that the issue was that nobody ever spoke up, then at least they'll learn how to ask, you know? Does anybody feel like doing anything? You know, they probably started out asking and nobody would say anything. So they started just taking the reins and it kind of went on like that. Now, as we grow and as we progress as family and as children turn into teenagers and stuff like that, they stop not having an opinion. They start having an opinion, but they still have that silence, you know? Consciously, they seem to be struggling with this anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're trying their best to find something that would include everybody. But, I mean, they just need a little bit of help. They haven't really been dedicated or committed in the right way. It's like they have an idea that everybody wants to do something different, right? Or that it might turn into an issue that, you know, Sally wants to go skating, but Susie wants to go swimming, and Danny wants to go to the park, kind of thing. But as far as them actually being committed to learning about him and trying to figure it out and utilizing these different things, we're just going to sit right here and do this until somebody speaks up. Doggone it, you expect me to do everything? And it's a possibility that it was a side-eyed and just kind of swept under the rug, but it was previously thought of as that before. Oh, and bottom of the deck. It's a death card and the Four of Wands that are both in the upright. So it is a positive transformation. It's a healthy transformation of falling away of the old and adapting to the new for the good of the home and for the good of the family, the homecoming, whatever kind of situation this is. This even could be moving, you know? Not just family outings or every Sunday we go do something. I see bottom of the deck, it is a little emotional. Like I said, the Queen of Cups in reverse is going to show that be careful how you come to this person. They only meant well. They didn't mean to dismiss everybody or sweep everybody's opinions under the rugs. It's just kind of how it happens. And I think that more after getting the story and kind of understanding it a little better, that it's more or less a lot of the family's fault too. And they should be brought into the conversation, right? Because it's very, very important that they learn how to speak up because closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed, Libra. Closed mouths don't get fed, Libra. Does no good to teach this person how to listen if these people don't ever speak, you know? About 3 cards for, yeah. I have 3 of Swords. There is, okay, so be diplomatic. Might I add to be diplomatic and put blame where blame is due. Everybody's situation is going to be just a little bit different. So I have the Ace of Pentacles again in the reverse, right? Oh, don't bite the hand that feeds is another thing that I'm getting. Don't forget who's actually paying for the excursion, paying for college or paying for the cars that y'all are driving or whatever else the situation entails. I do see that there's a possibility that we haven't spoke up or we haven't said anything because we were afraid to lose the financial support. Understand? But then that's still a little bit more heartbreaking than not. So yeah, I think this is a new trick. This is a new beginning. It's an ascension. It's a balance. It's an understanding, but it's also a time to definitely speak for a group diplomatically and incorporate the group into the conversation, right? While showing appreciation. I have the Page of Wands right there. So we're ready to move forward. We're kind of excited, just like in the advice, right? We're excited, we're ready, we're moving forward with hope and adventurous and acceptance and even, but it's not just a crime of passion, right? with the Knight of Wands in reverse. It's not just a crime of passion. I'm not doing it just to do it and throw salt in the fire or throw fuel in the fire. I'm doing it because I need to get something for it or from it, you know? I'm not being frivolous. I'm not being wishy-washy. This is something that I'm not going to change my mind on. So make sure that the shoe fits when you lace it up and put that baby on, right? And start kicking butt with it. Yeah? All right, Libra. I have the King of Cups in reverse. And again, don't forget how sensitive this is. This person has probably done the best they could with what they had, out of pure intention and love and support and adoration of everybody involved. So even when you hear for the first time that you might have been missing the mark, right? It's hurtful enough. But when they tell you that you missed the mark with venom, right? Then it hurts a lot more, because I only wish the best for you and I only wish love. So good luck, September, Libra. This looks to be fun and enjoyable and like a nice solidifying time. Now, don't forget Mercury is in retrograde, so these communications could be a little bit misconstrued. So please do your best to be heard clearly and concisely and put your point across in the best way possible. And until next time, Libra, like, comment, subscribe. Do hit the bell if you want to be informed next time I upload, which should be kind of mid-month, for your freestyle. So until next time, Libra, thanks for stopping by at Jive Tarot.